Hello. I went out and bought myself two sets of YIYEIE, I believe that's how you pronounce it, super thin open-end wrenches. I got both standard and metric. I'm going to do a little review on these because I tried to look up reviews of these, couldn't find a whole lot, never heard of this brand before, and yeah, so let's take a look at them. When shopping for these, I came across several brands, obviously. I found these inevitably on Amazon, and the reason I picked this set over other sets was because, number one, I'm not a mechanic. I'm probably going to pull these out maybe a handful of times a year, so I didn't want to also spend a boatload on them. I just wanted something that was going to fit nuts and bolts nice, not too much slop, and not too expensive.
These were also the most comprehensive sets I could find, having the most sizes for both metric and standard.
I believe for both of these, I paid $50 on Amazon. My initial impression of these is probably what I'd typically expect from a set of tools in this price range. The fit and finish is what it is. The chrome is very inconsistent. On this one, it's a bit cloudy, and this one, it's sort of shiny. So the chrome is not very consistent across all the tools. That's not something I personally care about, but just wanted to let you know. One thing I also noticed was I see some tooling defects. There's a gouge right there. I don't know if this is part of the tooling. If you can see this, it's kind of edged up. The corners are not rounded, they're 90 degrees, so that might give you some hand fatigue, but thin wrenches cannot be used with a lot of torque anyway, just something to keep in mind. So I've been buying and using tools in some form for the past 30 some years. My toolbox runs the gamut of price and quality. I have some Snap-on stuff. I have some Harbor Freight stuff. I have something that was in a do-it-herself kit from Kmart or Target. I have some old USA Craftsman. I've got some off-the-shelf big box store stuff like Husky, Cobalt. I do have a strong preference towards good quality tools, especially when it's going over a nut. You want a nice snug fit over a nut so you don't round off the nut. So yeah, I never heard of this company before, so I actually messaged them on their Facebook page, and they did get back to me within a few hours. And just asked them how to pronounce the name, and like I said, I believe it's YIYEIE. I asked them where the tools were made, a little bit of history on the company. They said their tools are made in China, and they used to, or still do, make tools that are rebranded. One of those brands, they said, is Amazon Basics. But under their own brand name, YIYEIE, they say they are focusing on wrenches. So with that in mind, let's hope that they're producing some quality wrenches. So my plan for this video is to take some measurements of the wrenches, see how they fit around bolts and nuts. I am going to take measurements of the jaw openings with a digital caliper, and then I'm also going to compare them to these other wrenches that I have. Just to give you an idea, so this is the YIYEIE thin wrench. This is a cheap-o wrench that came out of a cheap-o all-in-one kit from Kmart or Target. This is a USA Craftsman raised panel wrench that I bought 30 years ago. These are the new Milwaukee wrenches with their new open-end jaw design, which is really nice. I really like these wrenches. I'm also going to throw in these Pittsburgh Crow Feet wrenches. I only have the standard set, and I'm throwing these in here because these are the worst fitting wrenches I've ever used in my life. So let's take some measurements with the calipers, see how they stack up. Like I said, I'm also going to do a little bit of a test around nuts and bolts because the calipers does not always tell the whole story.
The thickness of both the smallest and largest wrench are just under 1/8 of an inch.
So for the slop test, all I'm really gonna do is I've got a variety of bolts here. All I'm gonna do is kind of put them in the jaw and wiggle them around and see how they behave. This one here is an old bolt, probably 50 years old or more. These are probably, I think these are metrics, probably about 20 years old. I've had them sitting around. These nice shiny ones, these are actually Hillman, brand new, big box store bolts, and these guys right here are 1/2 inch off my 1966 Ford Mustang. So this is a 7/8. Here goes my Milwaukee wrench. There is 0 slop in that. I know this is rusted, so that'll affect it. And I don't have another wrench big enough, but I do have this 7/8 USA Craftsman socket from back in the day. This is also a very snug fit, just like the Milwaukee. Here's the YIYEIE. Here's a 7/16. Start with the Harbor Freight Crowfoot. Kmart Special Wrench. USA Craftsman. Milwaukee. And YIYEIE. Here's a 1/2 inch bolt off of a 1966 Ford Mustang. Start with the Harbor Freight Crowfoot. The Kmart Special. The USA Craftsman. Milwaukee. YIYEIE. Finally, I have a 12mm bolt here. Start with the Kmart Special. The USA Craftsman. Milwaukee. And the YIYEIE. So my personal final thoughts on these are, it's probably about right for the price point. They're not great, they're not terrible. I think they fit okay. We'll see how well they hold up in real world applications. Time will tell. I haven't gotten a chance to actually use them yet. I'm not gonna put them through a strength test because quite frankly, I don't like intentionally breaking tools that I paid money for. And in all honesty, these are not the type of tools that should be put under a lot of torque anyway. But for $50, I have 18 metric sizes and 18 standard sizes. I guess I can't ask for much more than that. So I hope this helps you out, and we'll catch you next time.